Welcome kindreds, it's Jessica and this is the first wrap-up video I've ever made. I love watching other people's wrap-up videos, and I asked you guys in the community tab as well whether you thought that I should do a wrap-up videos, whether you'd enjoy watching them, and you said yes, so here we are. I've decided though that I'm not going to do monthly wrap-ups, I'm going to do moonthly wrap-up. I want to be living more by the moon cycles rather than by the kind of like calendar months, because they've become quite divorced from like what's really happening in the world. So I am focusing on living my life by those moon cycles, and so it makes sense that these monthly wrap-ups are by my moon cycles. And look, I wanted to show you some of these more ugly pages just to kind of keep it a little bit real as well, you know, like there's just pages where I just literally write and kind of work out what is going on in my head and stuff like that. But yeah, these are the main pages that you will have seen me set up if you saw my new moon ritual video, which was my last video. It's been quite a difficult month. I'm trying to bring back moonth. Like technically month means a moon cycle, but because now month tends to mean calendar month, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna call it moonth. I've been doing it for about a year now. Hasn't caught on yet, but maybe we can get that to be a thing. I shared basically that this month, the Scorpio moon cycle from the new moon on the 25th of October until Wednesday this week, the 23rd of November, was difficult because the one person died actually before that cycle, but it was funerals in that cycle, and yeah, you know, like that is a time of year for like change and rebirth anyway, isn't it? And like normally that's kind of metaphorical, but this year it's felt very literal, you know, in a lot of ways. So I'm not going to go through all that again now. I want to show you some of the things I've been working with this month, and the decks I've been using, things I've been making and stuff like that. It was obviously Samhain or Halloween or Norskalan Gaeaf or whatever you call it was in this month as well. So yeah, lots of interesting stuff going on. I have grabbed the decks that I was using in October. I've got, so the Santa Muerte, this is my ancestor deck that I use all year round as an ancestor deck, and I don't usually use it for anything else. I expect you will have already seen this deck before, but because in our circle we were doing some ancestor in the Witch Stock event, Elaine, who is an excellent tarot reader, created a spread. Where's that? I think, oh yeah, here. And I wanted to use, you can see this, well hopefully you can. See, look, people make these wrap-ups look so effortless and they're clearly not. So I use my Santa Muerte because these are the cards that I use to like speak with my ancestors, and that was kind of the point of this spread, was to do that. So I was like, okay, I'm going to use my Santa Muerte, even though I don't usually use it for that kind of, for like general readings. I'm going to use it for that. So yeah, I found that really good as well. It was kind of fun, and it made me wonder whether it would be good to use this deck for some other stuff as well, and not just but on a Saturday I do like an ancestor connection every Saturday morning and use these cards, and I leave an offering and there's like an invocation and stuff like that. It's tricky with ancestor stuff because it is kind of really personal, isn't it? But yeah, I have been thinking about maybe making a video about that as well, about connecting with ancestors in general. We'll see all of November really is kind of connecting in with guidance in general. Like I feel like Scorpio moon cycle is a lot to do with like our own personal depths and our own personal dead, and then the November when it's like into that Sagittarius moon cycle that we've just entered now, and it's Jupiter led, then I see that as being more like a more questing for a wider truth. So it's like guidance finding, but like perhaps from deity, or perhaps from not familial spirits kind of thing, if that makes any sense. So this deck I've used so much during the that Scorpio moon cycle, and I haven't really wanted to put this one away. I've rearranged my tarot shelves and stuff as well, which I'll probably show. I've had to add more shelves. If you saw my deck declutter video, I changed my system and I have all my decks now where I can see them, which is really, really cool. I'll try and remember to link any of the other videos I mentioned in the description box, but yeah, I might need to do like an updated kind of collection organization, I suppose, because I have added a couple more shelves, and I've got a shelf now. Rather, I know like lots of people like Dawn Michelle over at Boho Hotel uses like a basket and stuff, but I'm really liking the kind of shelf situation. So I've added a shelf which is like the decks that I'm currently using, and that's working really well. So, but in theory this was going to be a Scorpio cycle deck. Well, I started with it in the beginning of October, so before we even got into Scorpio I was using this deck. I'm really loving it. Look at that devil card. But I haven't wanted to put it away, so I think I'm going to carry on using this one into next month as well. Well, actually this month, because we're in it already. But this deck I bought in the Hay House sale because I'd heard a lot about her book on Mary Magdalene, and so I was kind of like, okay, this sounds good. And I've been using this one as an evening pull. Actually, up in bed I've got like a little altar on my bedside table, and I just pull a card before I go to bed. And I don't journal that or anything. I literally just like pull the card, have a little think about it, and read the guidebook and go to sleep. So it's a very simple practice. And I've been using this one now through that Scorpio cycle, and I'm still like a bit, I'm not sure about it. Like some of them have been really on point, and other ones have been just a bit like, the main reason I got this deck was because it is kind of got a range of people in here that you do not see. Like obviously you do see Kuan Yin in other stuff, but there's lots of people that you don't see in other decks of this kind. I've got like lots of divine feminine decks, and probably didn't need essentially another one, but actually, like I say, there was different people in here, and so that's what drew me in. But I'm still not totally convinced. I don't like super love the artwork. It was more the characters which I was interested in, and the write-ups as well are not like, when it's somebody I know, like obviously for some of these people I don't know them. For some of these divine feminine kind of icons, I don't know them. And the ones that I do know well, when I've been drawing those and I read the write-up for it, I sometimes feel a little bit like, that's not quite got the depth that I'm looking for, because I know a bit more about that. I don't know. So I'm kind of a little bit disappointed. I'm still going to use it for a while longer for my evening pulls, but I'm going to see how that goes. I'm not going to get rid of it or anything, because I think it would still be really useful. Like if I wanted to work with the energy of a particular person, I could always draw it from here and kind of like look it up and get more information after that. But yeah, I'm kind of like a little bit. So let's grab some of the other decks I've been using this cycle. I did go with a kind of more stereotypical, like I did get my Halloween tarot out. This is super cute. Like I kind of avoided using this month though, until it was actually like Halloween, and then I did. And like this deck actually reads really well. It's very Rider-Waite associated, but and like it is obviously gimmicky, but it does give good readings. So yeah, I'm always a bit like, oh, so I really want to use a kind of kitschy deck, and then I use it, I'm like, oh yeah, no, this is good. So I used that. I also used Everyday Witch, which I'm sure you've all seen lots of times. I find this deck goes well with lots of other decks. So like I was using this alongside this. It's not like a gorgeous pairing, but it was working well for me. That there's like obviously loads of cats in this one. I also used this Paulina Cassidy. This is kind of a bit of fun as well. Witchlings. This also I used alongside this quite a lot, and that does look nice. Look at that together. Ooh, running out of space. So yeah, these are all kind of like, how does she call them? She calls it like a book of spells, as you can see on here. And these are like different characters. You've got like aura, creativity, euphoria, cleansing, abundance, you know, this kind of thing. And then it's got quite a bit of information then on what you can kind of do with, it's information about the character, and then like it's what you can do to kind of work with that energy, which is fun. So yeah, this is another deck that I kind of forget that I've got and then pull out. So it's kind of an oracle, but it's got stuff to do as well with that. And like I said, it's been quite nice alongside some of my other readings. I don't know how people do these and like don't end up in a massive mess, because clearly this is what's happening. Maybe I'll get better at them the more I do them. So what else did I use? I used my Moonology Oracle. This is another deck that I don't really love, that I use it for sort of certain things, usually just for like a one card, to be honest, or sometimes I use it if I want to you know, if I'm working with a particular energy and I want to pull it out, like if I was going to work with the full moon Capricorn, I could pull this card out and use it as kind of like an altar card, a focus card. That's how I tend to use. So yeah, look at that, new moon in Scorpio, which is that Scorpio cycle that I'm reflecting back on now. Work through your fears, and that is definitely like I've done a lot of personal work this month. I've started seeing a therapist, although I'm going to need to find a new therapist, because I was doing it online, which was kind of good, but also I felt like it'd be better to see someone in person. And then I saw somebody in person who's local, but it wasn't really a good fit for me. So I'm gonna have to, you know, like people say that, don't they? You need to find somebody who's a good fit. And I was like, surely it'll be fine. Like I can go to whoever, but obviously not. It's not like that. You do need to find someone who is a good fit. So that is currently where I am with that at the moment. Like, these cards are really pretty, and they also look really beautiful with this. So I've used these two together quite a lot. Like I said, I just tend to pull one card from this. I don't use it for full readings, or maybe it would be good to experiment with that and see what happens. And then I also use my Spirit Keepers, the black and white original one. This it just feels kind of Halloweeny, I suppose, to me, this deck. It works, even though it works well all year, it is good for, oh, let's put that back in. Okay, so I'm sure you will have seen this. This is unfortunately not that easy to get a hold of, but she does bring out other editions and stuff. So, but yeah, that looks nice, and it looks good with cards with a lot more colour on them as well. You can use it in pairings. Oosh. And you can even use it with like sort of more silly, because like this has got so many layers of readings in these cards, but it's kind of fun to use it with other less serious, I guess, decks. I'm still like learning this deck because there is so much stuff in here. I could probably do with doing like a deep dive study on this. Yeah, the cardstock is brilliant as well. It's really nice, and look, really nice deck to work with. And I haven't used it loads and loads because I think I put off using it for quite a while because I was a bit daunted by, like, I didn't feel like I could just use it without learning it all first. And then I realized I'm not using it, so I need to just start using it, and that's how I'm going to learn it. It's a catch-22 otherwise, isn't it? And the other deck that I've used this month, which wasn't one that I really chose to use on purpose, is the Light Seers, which I'm sure you know. This also looks really lovely with the Spirit Keepers. I find that like when you get really bright decks, and sometimes with black and white decks, it's a nice combination. I tried to put this one away because I was using it a lot. I have been using it a lot ever since I got it, because it just reads so well. And I got it back out again because I just couldn't bear to put it away, really. So I don't know, I might carry on using that one next month. Like I said, I think I am going to continue with this as well in November, in this Sagittarius cycle. So I've also got a couple of decks which I pulled out to use in this new moon cycle. I've got this one here, which is the Hedge Witch Botanical Oracle by Charlotte Thompson. And I like the kind of the combination of the colour and the black and white on this deck. I find it works really well with lots of other decks as well. So it's kind of like an oracle, and the images are like that you would find in a herbal, which I really like. And I also got out, that's the box for this one. I actually use this box for storing all my like electronic bits and bobs in because I'm keeping them out on my shelves now. I'm not using them like that. And I'm also going to use the Green Witch, because this cycle is going to take us all the way up to Yule now, and I find like that is just very Yule. So even though this is a nice one, like it's got all the seasons in this deck, I do find it quite of a Yule deck. And yeah, I wonder if those two, they probably will work okay together. Like this deck is a funny one for me because like I don't really actually love the imagery in this deck, but it's such a good reader. It gives excellent readings. I'm like, yeah, no, that would be lovely, wouldn't it? So yeah, I'm going to be using that one. I haven't decided the others yet, so like I say, I'll probably continue with this one. I want to get, because I still haven't like fully finished connecting with my Sufi tarot yet, which I used as, I'm going to grab that. I used that as a, sorry, excuse my chair sliding around the place. I use this to do my like connect with the deck, and I put it back in order, and I haven't gone through and connected with it yet. So that is another one that might be one that I'm going to use this month. In fact, I'm going to put that here, so I'm going to remember to start working with that. And look, I haven't even opened this. I bought this Herbal Astrology Oracle. I like Adriana's work. She's like South American, so it's her plants that she is like, her plant allies are a little bit different from my plant allies here in Wales, but I think this is going to be really lovely because it's bringing in like herbs, astrology, all the stuff I love basically. So I'm kind of saving this, but maybe I'll use this as well, because I find with oracle decks it doesn't take as long to bond. Well, kind of it takes longer in a way, because I always read the guidebook. I nearly always read the guidebook with oracle cards, so I don't feel like I need to do like the learning process, whereas with tarot I don't always read the guidebook. I often don't read the guidebook. So yeah, that's the decks. We've been watching, because like, you know, it's that time of year where like we have had some lovely walks outside, and we have seen, gosh, so many mushrooms this year. I don't know what it's like where you guys are, but there's been gorgeous mushrooms. Like we've got like a little woods just behind us where we live, and it's been like fairy paths, it looks like. It's amazing. I'll try, like the photos are never as good, are they, as like when you're there in real life, and it's like kind of takes your breath, but I'll try and share, if I can, some of those in this, like I'll do like a cutaway or something in here. So yeah, we've been outside a bit, but it's been so wet as well. The weather has been really terrible, and so we've spent a lot of time inside, and we've been watching some movies. We watched the Enola Holmes 1 and 2, which my daughter has seen them both before, and she was really excited about me watching them. She was like, you're gonna love it, Mum, you're gonna love it. And I was a little bit reluctant, because sometimes if I think something's gonna be like a little bit scary, or if it's gonna show things that I'm a bit sensitive to, then I have to kind of like gear myself up to watch it. But it was really good. I'm so glad I watched it. It's so funny and clever, and kind of like a Indiana Jones hero, but like feminist, and just very, yeah, I loved it. So yeah, let me know if you've seen those movies, what you think, because I was really impressed with them. And we've also been watching this series on Disney called The Owl House, which again, my daughter watched that, and she likes other people to watch stuff so she can like have in-depth conversations about stuff. So so we've been doing that, which is really nice, really cool. I've also been reading, the one book I've left upstairs now because I haven't finished it. I've been rereading one which is called The Woman's Book of Shadows, but maybe I'll share that next time anyway, because I haven't finished rereading it yet. I finished this book in this moon cycle, She of the Sea, which I started this when I first got it, and I just couldn't really get into it, and I enjoyed it, but I felt like for me at the moment this wasn't what I needed necessarily. But I'm glad I read it, because I have recommended it to some other people who are working with this kind of stuff at the moment. So yeah, it is really good. I took quite a few notes from it and stuff. It's got lots of different things in it. Let me see if I can show you the contents, because that's usually more useful, isn't it? It's like it ranges. That's what I love about Lucy's work, is like she ranges all over the place. She brings quotes in a lot of the time from different people. She weaves in different voices and stuff, and like she touches on things like your kind of the tide, inner tide, so like the feminine, lots of good stuff, and like sort of fear of the sea as well, and how we've been like prevented from even going in the sea, and wild swimming and stuff like that. So you know, it's a lot. And I actually did go swimming in the sea a couple of times in this moon cycle. So yeah, that was nice. And it was nice kind of when I was there at the beach then thinking about what was in here, so it was good. But like I said, it wasn't just, sometimes when I read her books, they're really on point for me in this moment, and this one felt like it was more, I'm reading it as a potential one to recommend to other people. So yeah, there's that. And we also went to the library and I picked up a couple of fiction books, but I haven't finished any of those yet, so I'll share those next time. I've been working on health goals and stuff as well. I'm still kind of working on my fitness and getting my like that's part of the therapy as well, like is getting my mineral balance okay and getting myself so I'm not feeling anxious about things, or just feeling like normally anxious about things. And yeah, last month we worked with the labyrinth in, oh, have I got picked that up? No. Oh yeah, I did. So this seemed really appropriate afterwards. In every month in the Facebook circle, I take a rune for the month, and it was the labyrinth, which is like a two-headed axe, and it is the rune of will and kind of like almost like conquest in a way. But I felt like for me, like it does cut both ways, you know, and for this particular time working with it, it was much more like about feeling those cuts and being cut, almost like severing, and severing obviously with the losses and stuff as well. So that was last month, and this month we're working with the pendulum woman rune, which yeah, I'm looking forward to. I won't say too much about that because obviously that is for this current moon cycle. But yeah, the labyrinth was kind of painful. I also, look at this gorgeous stone that I found. Well, not found, I bought it. My sister, she sells crystals and things, and she had like her stones all out where she was getting things organized. I was like, look, the goddess is in this one, and so I had to have this one. I think it's malachite, but it was for this, is why I wanted it. And it looks almost like Russian dolls, you know, it's so nested in. So yeah, that was a really gorgeous find this month as well. I've also been making stuff. I've been doing Molly Roberts' grimoire course. So these are all like things made as a result of that course. We also did some pottery in my children are home educated, and we had like a potter come to one of the groups that we go to, and my kids both made little dishes. And she came back like for a few weeks so that everyone would have a chance to do it. And I was like, do you know, even though I'm the only grown-up who's going to be doing it, actually one of the grown-up did do it. I was like, I want to do that. So look how beautiful these are. Yeah, so I'm really happy with those. And they're going to be like, I haven't fully decided what I want them for, but they're like lovely size to be like offering bowls. Yeah, really, really nice. So I made those this month. So yeah, I might be sharing my make. I want to be tracking certain things that I'm enjoying as I go through the month, so that I'll make better wrap-up videos, because this one is obviously a little bit all over the place. So like decks I worked with, books and articles I read, movies, TV shows, YouTube videos, songs, like things I'm listening to. I might even make like a playlist for the month, podcasts, field notes, realizations and growth that I've been noticing in myself, stalker cards. I thought that would be an interesting one as well, and like the magic, what I've been working on. And actually I did make this gorgeous scrub recipe, which one of the goddess women in the Circle of Kindreds shared a recipe for making this scrub. And like, I got stuff for making stuff, and I do make potions and lotions sometimes, but having that like nudge from somebody else to sort of do this, it felt really, really nourishing. And so yeah, so I made my scrub, and I'm really excited to use that, and I wrote it all down so that I could make it again if I want to. My daughter and my niece made it with me, which was really, really cool. So yeah, that is my month, and let me know what you thought. Hopefully you will enjoy it, and I will feedback on my next month and what I'm working on in this Sagittarius moon cycle. I wish you all of the blessings in this moon cycle. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.